Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Mika Frankl, and today we get to talk to LFA 123 headliner Dan the Determined Argueta. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. I'm just sitting here. There's not much to do when I head out to Chicago tonight. So I'm kind of, I got a couple more training sessions here in Albuquerque, and I had an early morning, had my coffee, my breakfast, my gallon of water already. So
already, I mean, we're doing this. It's not even 11 a.m. Already a gallon of water in.
Yep, easy.
You're just
I'm in
busy.
my car, so I'm in my car, so I could pee in one of the bottles if that's where we're going.
Man, easy access with the plan. That's great.
How have you been? We haven't spoken in a long time.
Man, I have been busy. You know what was funny, actually? I was there in studio when you did your ESPN radio interview for Albuquerque ESPN. I was in the studio for that. Didn't even get a chance to say hi for you. I had wrote most of the questions for them. But talk about that.
Well,
you're busy. You're California, you're Chicago, you're Albuquerque. How do you keep track of where you are?
Hey, man, I started like this. If you don't remember, I was on the road all the time. It's whenever I start feeling overwhelmed about all, the travel or different camp or coaches, people I have to talk to, I just remember, without motion, there's death. Life has to be in motion. It is what it is. I'd rather be like this than, people not wanting to talk to me. It's good, man. I get to play karate with my fucking friends all day. Like, I don't got much to complain about.
You play karate with some of the most amazing people I know. How did you find yourself from the wrestling room to these incredible mats?
Israel Martinez. That guy made me, he made me earn all this through coaching at his really prestigious wrestling academy out in Chicago. Introduced me to Anthony Pettis. That was the first MMA fighter I worked with. Then a few weeks later, this is after a year of coaching for him. A few weeks later, introduced me to Juan Archuleta and Cub Swanson. Then I trained with them for the first time. And a couple months later, I met Cub in Albuquerque for the first time. And I was like, hey, what's up? You remember me? And he's like, yeah. Like a week later, he's like, hey, do you want to stay here for another month? You can stay with me. And I was like, sure. And I stuck around, and almost a year later, he got me my first amateur fight, and we just hit the ground running.
Was Cub the first guy that you were starstruck by?
No. I didn't know who he was when I first started training with him. I didn't know who Anthony Pettis was.
Really?
First MMA. Yeah, first MMA fighter I ever worked with. Had no idea who he was.
So when did you see MMA for the first time and decide that you wanted to do it?
I was like 10 years old, but then I forgot about it. I didn't watch any of it. I forgot about it till I was, 23-ish, 22.
Well, that's what happens when every Saturday you're at a wrestling tournament, right?
Yeah. I was busy doing other stuff on Saturday nights.
And that other stuff was the perfect foundation for where you want to go.
Yeah, my foundation, it was built on immatureness. It was built on mistakes. It was built on, lack of commitment and determination, and that's literally what it was built on. And now I'm I look at all that and I say, wow, I needed that to happen to me. I needed to be that way in order to make these changes for myself.
I sat there ringside at some of your amateur fights, and we could see the wrestling, and we could see the raw athleticism. What was that journey like to get to the point where you were confident in throwing those hands?
I'm still getting confident with it, man. Like I said, you know who my friends are. I never get to kick ass in training. I'd never get to kick ass. You know, now I get to go with someone that is on the same field as me, and it's like, oh man, finally it's my turn to kick some ass. You know, it's been good. You know, it's been tough. It's taken a lot of concentration, but I'm getting there.
Your nickname, the Determined. I feel like the last photo that you posted on Instagram embodies that nickname. Looked like a frozen early morning run up there in the Sandias.
Oh, that was Josh Streaker's photo. Yeah, that was the first day I got into camp. You know, my mentor Dior Dominguez, he's you know, Coach Jackson's, you know, really, really good friend, shooting instructor for a lot of the fighters out here in Albuquerque, including, you know, John Jones, Coach Jackson himself. And first thing he said, you know, I got into town, I flew in, he picked me up. And what do you think we did right away? Went up to the mountains.
Nothing like burning those lungs up right away.
Right away. No time to waste.
Now, also, we've seen this determination, and I feel like playing with the hair, it's embodied. You're keeping that determination to make weight again. How much has that been weighing on you this fight? Everything in the last camp.
You know what? Not much. I don't. You know, it's part of the job. I've been doing it my whole life. You know, right after I missed weight this last one, you know, I made sure people knew there was no excuse. But before I do these interviews, I ask people, I'm like, do you want to know this? Do you want to know what happened? You know, do you want to know why it happened? You know, it's not an excuse because it didn't have to happen that way. It was 2 pounds. I could have ran an extra mile, you know, a month before that even happened. You know, there's no excuses to it. It could have been different. But if you want to know, I'll tell you what went down.
Yeah, I'm fine to hear the story if you're all right with telling it. I don't like to pry. Of course. I don't like to pry.
So I actually we knew that the fight was at elevation. We knew that my body was going to retain some water. So we got up there, I think on Monday night or Tuesday morning. We got up there days before LFA check-in started to hit the elevation. You know, my weight was perfect, under control, ready to go, on track. I think I got there maybe 9 pounds over at the most. And what was that?
I was like, that's not like an exorbitant amount.
No, not at all. And I felt good. I was still training. And sorry, there's a crazy person sitting out in front of Whole Foods.
It's Albuquerque. It happens.
It's Albuquerque. It happens. Yeah, he looks like he's about to fight a security guard. Okay, so yeah, I got there like maybe 9 pounds over, you know, successful water load, working out every day. And the night before weigh-ins, or the 2 nights before weigh-ins, I started getting sick. You know, started getting a little bit of a cold. You know, I was, you know, a little messed up. Not too bad. I didn't think much of it. And then Wednesday night, we started like a pre-cut. Try to see how much I can get off. I got down to 130. I want to say 138. Yeah, 138. And then, you know, my coaches, my teammates, you know, everyone, all the guys above me said, all right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to eat, you're going to drink, you know, put like a pound in yourself, you know, half a pound of fluid, half a pound of, you know, some food, some Greek yogurt, blueberries, avocado, nothing crazy, just that. So I did that, got up to 39. And this is where things went wrong. You know, all night long, I was throwing up. I was throwing up stomach acid. I was laying in bed and I was so tired, and, you know, I didn't have the energy to get up and go to the bathroom every 5 minutes to throw up, that I was coughing and dry heaving, and I had headaches all night. So I just started throwing up next to my pillow. I was like, fuck it. Just started throwing up next to the bed, on the bed. You know, I didn't care. I was just stomach acid. So I was just spitting, and I'm like, I don't care. The cleaning ladies will get this later. And my coaches said, you know, hey, let's wake up at 7 o'clock. Let's start up that sauna. And because we had a sauna in the bedroom, like, let's start it up, get jump roping, get moving. And then, you know, you only got 3 pounds to lose. You'll be good to go. And, oh, actually, pound heavier. So got up to 40 that night. I think I went to bed at 30, or I got down to 39. So 3 pounds away. So got up to 40. Woke up at 39. And like I said, I was sick all night, throwing up, keeping my roommate awake. And he's actually my photographer. And he just knew I was fucked up all night. He couldn't sleep because he heard me dry heaving and throwing up. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, eesh. I'm up at 6 o'clock on my own because I couldn't sleep anymore. I couldn't handle it. So I start up the sauna, start jump roping by myself, shadow boxing, shadow wrestling, get my heart rate up. And I'm like, okay, I go for like 20 minutes and I jump in the sauna. And everyone woke up around 7 o'clock. I was in the sauna for about 40 minutes. Did not break one bead of sweat. I stayed in there for another 5-10 minutes. Okay, a couple beads of sweat, but it keeps on going away. And I'm like, what the fuck? So next they're like, all right, let's get you in the hot tub. So they threw me in the hot tub, in the scalding hot tub. And from my walk from the, literally next to my bed where I had the sauna to the bathroom, my heart rate spiked up to about a 190. Every time I would move, my heart rate would spike, and I'm like, oh man, get me in the tub. So I get in the tub, and I got like 2-3 beads of sweat coming down, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm taking my feet out, and boom, I get cramps from my toes up to my neck. I could feel my kidneys going, you know, they were going pretty soon. And what do you think the next thing to attack me was? I start throwing up again. My mentor's holding a trash can to my head as I'm in the hot tub and I'm throwing up. He's like, hey, are you sure? I'm like, I'm good. Just let me, and throwing up every time I even move. And it's not a lot of throw up. It's just spit, you know, it's dry, yellow acid from my stomach. And I made it like 20 minutes in there, 30 minutes. And then we got out, threw me back in the sauna, and I'm in the sauna. Couple more beads of sweat. Every time I even talk, I'm cramping up, and I'm throwing up in the sauna, in the portable sauna with my neck exposed. And they're holding a trash can next to me because every time I talked or moved, I would throw up. My heart rate's spiking up. I'm getting really fucked up. And then, you know, after like 20 minutes in the sauna or so, maybe 30, they're like, all right, let's mummy wrap you. They mummy wrap me. And I'm pretty sure I felt my sweat stop at about 3 minutes in. 3 minutes. I was wrapped for 3 minutes and lost my sweat when I was mummied. And so we stayed in there. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm sweating. I'm not, I can't tell. Every time I would even move in that, you know, in the mummy wrap, I was getting, you know, cramping from toe to my neck, and, you know, would like almost like seize, and then throw up. So I'm throwing up on myself, and I'm trying to roll, and, you know, they're putting a trash can next to me so I could, you know, like they're ramping it up to my neck so I could throw up in it. And then we called Cub Swanson. We said, hey, my mentor said this isn't looking so hot. He's probably pretty close to going to the hospital. And Cub was like, okay, cut it, stop. And I was like, no, let's keep going. Then Cub said, okay, give it 30 more minutes. If it doesn't work out, we got to call and see what the deal is. I was like, all right. So we kept going. And then at 30 minutes, we checked my weight. I only lost a pound in that, 2-hour time frame. With all that happening, I only got down to 138. And we knew, 2 more pounds and I was going to go to the hospital. We knew it. I fucking knew it. I've never been that close, and I knew it. And, so that's why we shaved my head. I told my coaches, I said, hey, I'm not going into this weigh-in with this respectable opponent with the fucking prettiest hair in Colorado. I need to be punished. I need to realize what I did, and no excuses. Like I said, it could have happened a month before. It could have been something I did. Who knows? But it happened. That's that. Punish myself. Make sure it doesn't happen again. Thank God Rodney said yes to the fight. I looked like shit, man. I knew he was going to want to fight me. I looked like shit.
Well, talk to us about fight night, how you felt, and how the hell you get the win.
How the hell you get the win?
That's the hard part, man. After I already weighed in and everything, I've never been so close to pulling out of a fight. The throwing up and everything didn't stop after I made weight. Now, the backlash from all the throwing up was I had burned something in my throat from all the stomach acid. And now my throw up, after I already, weighed in and everything, my throw up has blood in it. And I'm hurting really bad. And I remember laying in bed, rolling around, crying. I was crying because I was so hungry and thirsty. But every time I drank something, it felt like someone was stabbing me in the neck. Every time I ate something, it would hurt to put it down. And I just kept on throwing it up. And then it would hurt even more because now the acid's touching whatever's burned in my throat. It took me usually it takes me like 4 or 5 hours to get back to normal. It took me about 8 hours till I was, able to put down my first 2-3 pounds of water and hold it down. So the recovery was bad, man. But, I didn't pull out. I said, I got to deal with this. I already messed up once. I'm not going to pull out of this. And then, the day of the fight, I was like really close to pulling out. I told, I couldn't even lean over. Every time I leaned over, it felt like someone was stabbing me in the chest or the neck. And I just remember telling, Diori and Coach Joey that, hey, if I get punched in the chest, I'm crying in there. I'm going to cry. I'll probably I'll knock myself out. But we ended up doing it. We dealt with it.
And then it ends up being a submission of the year.
A submission of the year.
Close to it. I didn't get the award.
But you're right there. You were one of the nominees.
Right there, you were one of the nominees.
Sorry, I was just making sure that I had my times correct.
No, it's all right. We've taken a bunch of your time already.
We've taken a bunch of your time already.
No worries, man. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to fuck this dude up. I am upset. I want my hair back. I am upset. I've seen guys on The Ultimate Fighter get signed, and I was not one of them. I am upset. This dude, got skills. Kid's got skills. He doesn't belong in there with me. He does not belong in there with me. I'm ready, to get another finish. I came to Albuquerque to impress. Let me impress everyone. Let me impress all of them.
You think he's a guy that's going to stylistically give you some openings to do what you want to do in there?
Do what you want to do in there?
You remember all my amateur fights, right? All skinny, tall strikers, Muay Thai, a couple purple belts, brown belts. What'd I do to them?
Yeah, you ground and pounded them pretty harshly.
And got my submissions. That's when I learned I could do jiu-jitsu. You know, that it's nothing I haven't seen before. That's what I'll say. It's nothing I haven't seen. You know,
now what about the moment your hometown
area? I win 10 out of 10 times. I know that. I win 10 out of 10 times. It's nothing I've never dealt with. I win. I put in this work. I work my fucking ass off, Mike. I work so hard, man. You know, I'm ready to go. Being hometown, I love that. You know why? Pressure scares the shit out of me. When I'm scared, I fight my ass off. I don't want to be in there taking chances. I guarantee you, I got about 200 people, 300 people coming.
So you feel all that pressure, and you translate all that fear into all the performance.
Yeah, it used to terrify me and be like, oh, I don't want it to happen. Now I'm losing sleep because I'm like, oh, not actually losing sleep, but I'm like, when I want to rest, I'm like, nah, I'm ready to go. My coaches, you know, Greg Jackson and Wink have been pulling me back the last couple of days. Like, hey, relax. I'm like, I'm ready to fuck something up.
I think you're the only guy that I've seen shadow boxing a bag in a full sweatsuit while watching your opponent's videos.
I thought so. I won. I win every time.
Is that just a technique that you developed, that you thought of to pre-fight the fight?
Kind of, yeah. You know, it was mostly Diori's idea. It was like, hey, let's watch this fight. Let's see how many strikes he throws. And you. Put that pressure on that bag like it's him. And when I did that, and I'm watching him, and he's tired putting his hands out, and I'm like, I still have another one in me. I fought him again that night.
Man, the determined, that's just so much exemplary of the nickname.
Hey, man. I work hard, but you know what? My parents worked harder to get me here, to do all this for my life, to make sure that I came out this way, and I'm proud of it. And it makes me very happy that I'm doing what I can. I'm doing everything possible to make my family happy.
And those great people are where you get this work ethic from?
Absolutely. You know, my dad didn't come here from Guatemala when he was a kid to, you know, grow a family and have his youngest son who he put through college. He didn't have him here to be a mediocre cage fighter. He didn't have him here to be a cage fighter. That's why I'm going to become one of the best of them.
He's Dan Argueta. LFA 123. We get to see him in the main event. I've already taken a bunch of more time from him than I told him I was going to.
I got to pee so bad.
I will let you go, bro. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Guys, make sure you tune in. UFC Fight Pass this Friday night. It's going to be awesome. Shout out to Jackson Wink, Gracie Baja, my team in California with Cub Swanson and Archuleta and all those guys out there. You know, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm pissed. I'm pissed, man. They're holding me back too long. I'm ready to go. Thank you guys for having me.